Hello everybody, my name is Erica and welcome to my channel, Ginger Books. I know it has been a while since I've sat on my floor in front of my dysfunctional, not yet set up pink shelf and my newly decorated, even though there's holes missing, other bookshelf to bring you a book talk. And yes, we're finally going to cheer and I have finally finished the Stalking Jack the Ripper series. So let's get into the book talk. So today we're going to talk about Capturing the Devil by Kerri Maniscalco, the fourth and final installment of the Stalking Jack the Ripper series. This series starts off with how it ended in Escaping, where they get off the RMS Uteria and they are now in New York at her grandmama's estate. And lo and behold, there is a string of murders that is starting to mimic Jack the Ripper. And a bombshell drops when, out of nowhere, Thomas Cresswell, our wonderful male protagonist, finds out that there actually were two people. And that the person they thought who was Jack the Ripper was actually not Jack the Ripper. And so this sends them on a wild goose chase where the book is split into two parts where they end up in the wonderful city of Chicago, trying to find the second Jack the Ripper. But along the way, everything comes crashing down in Audrey and Thomas's world. And of course, it makes for a wonderful fourth book full of gut-wrenching plot twists and turns, and then a wonderful ending that everybody either was waiting for or just, saying finally it's over. Of course, let's get into the talk. So I look for in three things, reminding everybody who is new to this channel or hasn't been around for my book talks very long, but there is three things that I look for in a book. One, how relatable are the characters? That's what draws me into a story and how well they develop throughout the story. Two, the plot itself, the storyline, the twists and turns, and how beautiful an author can create the story and fit the characters in it. And then third, how well does it fit the genre? So let's start with number one. So the characters, as always, still love Audrey, even though her character was kind of annoying me in the third book. And I never gave a book talk about the third book because I felt like there was too many book talks. And I wanted to do something different. Her character shines more throughout this book, especially after learning that she got hurt in the last book and how she is coping with that, and then the bombshells that are just dropped and how she has to deal with this. I mean, your heart breaks for her in the first part of this book because something horrible happens. She finally gets the somewhat happy kind of ending, and then it just gets turned upside down. And I don't want to give away what that is, and it was just so well done. And Thomas, finally watching him break down his walls and finally showing true emotion and finding finally letting people in even more than in Hunting Prince Dracula. Oh my god. Their characters were still so well relatable. I also loved some of the side characters, which was Audrey's grandmama, and just seeing who she pretty much takes after and seeing the lineage and some of the things that her grandmama secretly helps her with is just wonderful. And of course, kooky Uncle Jonathan. He's in this one a little bit more. Actually, he's in more of the last two books. And it's just nice to see, the way he kind of interacts and is kind of, I guess, goes past a mentor and an uncle and almost is like a father figure for Audrey and how much she looks up to him, especially when you get to the ending scene in this book of how much she actually deeply cares for her uncle. It's wonderful. This leads me to number two. Kerri Maniscalco. You have outdone yourself to the point you are now my reigning champion at number one of my favorite series of all time for plots, for twists and turns, because you had me, I don't even know what to describe it, because it's not even like, it's an emotional roller coaster ride where you're on like this monster ride and out of nowhere everything's going good, you're going, you're smooth sailing, and out of nowhere it's just like the bottom drops out from under you and you're just plummeting down to the earth. Like, you just didn't even see that coming. I cried at the one point with Audrey and Thomas when something like really like bad happens, because they're, almost having a happy ending. Oh, you can tell I don't have words. You just have to experience it. As more things start coming unraveled before the second part of the book when they're in Chicago. And then the ending with the historical serial killer that comes into play at the end, just pure genius. Like, I even forgot about this like aspect of the actual Jack the Ripper story and some of the conspiracies coming around it, and you'll understand when you get to the end of the book and you read the author's notes with the way Kerri Maniscalco explains that she saw this theory that actually could be true, and that's where, or the origins of where this story came from. And I love the plot, still do. Escaping from Houdini, I feel, was not the greatest, and I feel maybe that's why sometimes this storyline gets a bad rep, because Escaping from Houdini only got like 3.5 stars from me because it just felt like the plot was predictable. But I mean, this plot and capturing the devil to end the series, I mean, KO knocked it out of the water. Like, thank you. Now, on to 3. Does it hold true to the historical fiction? Absolutely. Because of the way she brings in Jack the Ripper again and having connections to this one person, which is a famous serial killer. Now they're in Chicago, so you can probably guess the famous serial killer I'm talking about, but don't ruin it for anybody, and I'm not going to ruin it from anybody else. And the way at the end how she explains that, again, like I explained in the plot, brought that theory to life and made it so real, and like I would believe it. There's tangible proof, and how this story was born. Absolutely amazing, hands down. So my overall rating is 5 out of 5. If I could give it more, it would be 10 out of 5. I absolutely love this book. It was a wonderful conclusion to the story. I just wish there would be more. Audrey and Thomas finally have their happy ending. Want more? Kerri Maniscalco, please do a sequel to this series, please. I need more. That's where I leave it at. And this is why the Stalking Jack the Ripper series is probably going to be my #1 for this year and #1 of all-time favorite series. And you're probably going to catch me probably rereading this series a couple of times next year. Well, without further ado, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked the video, please give it a big thumbs up. I did switch my times. It's Monday and Thursdays now. However, you always can hit that subscribe button and click that bell notification so you are notified when I do post. Thanks for watching again, and for sticking with the reading vlogs and my drama of reading Escaping from Houdini and finally finishing Capturing the Devil, because we all know I took way too long to read this book. So, thank you, and I will see you next time. Bye!